Hi everyone, this is Alyssa Grasso, and this is the Awkward Author vlog slash podcast. It's a weekly show, and I talk about all the things that I have going on in my writing life and life in general, and what has been going on. I have not been getting a lot of writing progress done, which I knew was going to happen because I was working on getting two books that recently went out of print back into print. They were traditionally published books. I did get the ebook rights back as well as the print book rights, and so now I have to get them ready to be republished because the files that I have were not the complete files with all the copy editing that happened. So I have to compare the files I have with the published books and get them fixed up. And it's more work than you would think it is, and it also... I spent a lot of time last week figuring out how to save time. So that was interesting. I think in the long run it will pay off, but at the moment, I feel like I'm still making up for lost time. So what it is I have, a document, like a Word document, that's gone through one round of copy edits, I think, but was not like the final published book. So in order to get that ready, I'm comparing it against the published book, and the way that I devised to do that, it took me a few steps to come up with this method. That's what took so long, actually. I'm using technology, in this case an iPod Touch, although you could use an iPhone too, or iPad, or anything like that, to read the book to me, to read the text out loud, not the book, the manuscript, while I go through the finished book. And then when I find things that need to get fixed, I have to pause my iPod and correct it, on the screen that I also have up. I have the computer screen going. I got a, good old-fashioned paper book, and then I have my iPod reading the manuscript to me. And the part that, was figuring out how to get the reading done first, I was just going to have my computer read it to me, and there is a way to do that. It's very easy to do with a Mac. Here's the problem. You can't easily stop and start it, which is something I need to do because, I keep coming into mistakes. So I got to stop it and fix the mistake. There's no easy, as far as I can tell, there's no easy way to do that. And so you got to hit like four different things or whatever. And by that point, it's gone way past where you need to go. And then you got to backtrack. And it was that's how I started out doing things. And it was taking forever. That wasn't saving me any time at all. So I found, something online that said, if you do... you could convert it to a web page and then download it to iTunes as a spoken word track. So that was what I was attempting to do. I spent a lot of time trying to do that, and basically I ran into some kind of glitch or something where it's just not. It was not it would do maybe a few paragraphs and then it just cut out, and it just would never complete. Creating that audio track. And I thought, the file's too big because I got a whole novel here, so I'll break it up into chapters. But it just I never got that to work. So I don't know what the glitch that I was running into there was. But so attempt 3, my third strategy, which was, again, I used a text file. I'm using HTML files. Don't ask. But I'm converting I converted the book chapter by chapter into an HTML file, airdrop that to this iPod Touch, open that in Pages on the iPod Touch, and highlight the whole chapter, which is not easy to do, by the way. I have to figure out if there's a way to select all, which I just can't seem to figure out. On the iPod Touch, anyway, and then have that read to me, and I can pause that. It's not perfect. There's still if for some reason the iPod goes to sleep if I'm taking too long or something, boom, it just it goes right back to the beginning of the section. What else could happen? Sometimes you could just accidentally hit something and make it go back to the beginning, because I've done that a couple of times. And just the highlighting is kind of a pain. There's not. Maybe if I was more tech savvy or something, I would know how to easily highlight it, but it's like tough. Like you have to drag the thing to get it to all the highlight, and I don't know how to highlight all of it, which is what I would love to do. So that's something I got to figure out. But that is the method that I'm using, and so I'm like, I think I've done 8 chapters, which in the printed book comes to around page 80 or so, and it's over 300 pages, the book, so I got a ways to go. I definitely do, but at least I have a system going now. It's not perfect, but I have a system, and it seems to be working, and so I'm hoping maybe by the end of this week I'll have at least one book done. I'll have Shallow Pond done, that's where I started, and then next week maybe I can work on Ferocity Summer, and so I can get those books ready to be republished. And get those back up there on, Amazon and the other sites, so that I have those listed for sale when I come out with my new book, Unnamed Roads, which I was going to bring out sooner, but I don't want to do that until I have all my other books available for sale, because I hope maybe, sales of a new book will drive up sales of the other books, plus with these books with Ferocity Summer and Shallow Pond, because I've already kind of made my money on them and they're not making any money for me right now. I feel comfortable playing around with pricing. I can put them at free or 99 cents or whatever, and do some different things to try to drum up business and drum up sales and pick up some new readers. So anyway, that's really what I've been working on, is like fighting with technology and trying to use it to make my life easier, even though I feel like I kind of made my life more difficult, at least to begin with. No, there was definitely a learning curve involved. And if you're wondering why I'm using HTML files and not text files, well, I accidentally made an HTML file the first time, and that worked. And then I was like, oh, well, I should just make a text file. The problem is when I made the text file and airdropped that to the iPod and opened it in Pages, I couldn't highlight it at all. I don't know what the deal was there, but for some reason it just wouldn't let me highlight it, and without highlighting, it doesn't know where to read it from. So that's why I'm using HTML files, they're basically just text. That's all it is. So that's what's going on there. So it was like last week, and I was fighting with all this technology stuff to get this all to work and come up with a system and all that. And in the middle of, I got all these devices going at once. I got the computer and I got the iPod and I had my phone there. And in the middle of all this, there was family drama going on because, my family's crazy and yours probably is too, because that's how families are. But just some social media, Facebook related drama. And it was, my sister's not on Facebook anymore. She, wisely quit the Facebook thing, and I still am on Facebook. My parents are on Facebook. I have an aunt who's on Facebook. I have lots of relatives on Facebook. Anyway, my sister heard from a family member about some drama on Facebook, wanted me to look it up because she can't look it up because she's not on Facebook anymore. So I'm trying to figure out what the great controversy is, and I couldn't even figure it out. And then I learned my parents were away. They had just come home. And so then when my mom called, then it was like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. So I did text something to my sister after that. It was just pure craziness. And anyway, in the middle of trying to figure all this stuff out, all my devices kept coming up with new alerts because of this whole great drama going on. So it was chaos. And I was just like, oh my gosh. It makes you want to just run away to a cave somewhere and not have any of these devices anymore because you can't get anything done. But at the same time, they are helping me. And once I get through this, as I'm working, I know it'd be a lot easier because I've tried just looking at the book and going back and forth between the manuscript on the screen and the printed book, and it's really tough to do. So it's a lot easier to have the iPod reading it to me and then go from what it's reading and figure it out from there. But that's basically what I've been doing this week. That's I don't know how healthy that is. I feel like I need to write. I feel like I want to write. I've done a very, very small amount of work on on my mystery thriller, The Girl Most Likely to Succeed. Let me think. I'm like maybe just over 60,000 words. I don't know where I was when I talked to you last week. Probably close to that, because I don't feel like I've done very much at all on that as I focused on this other project. And yeah, that's all I've been up to, really. We're getting some nice, bizarrely spring-like weather here, even though it's like just the end of February. So I'm probably going to go out, take the dog for a nice walk, enjoy this weather while I can, and yeah, I will catch up with you guys in another week. So tune in for the next episode of the Awkward Author vlog / podcast then, and maybe I'll have something more interesting to tell you, and hopefully I'll have made a decent amount of progress on this re-uploading my books, remaking them available to buy. I don't know what the right terminology is there, obviously, so I'm just rambling, but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, not much to tell you, I guess, this week. Not much interesting, but yeah, have fun, be careful on the crazy Facebook out there. Who knows what kind of controversy you might stir up inadvertently. So yeah, talk to you guys all again soon.